So I decided to name my artwork How to Feel, and I thought this was fitting because of the topic, which is the Florida shooting, and I thought this title went well because after this event, many people don't know how to feel about it and just don't know how to react or what to do because of how scary and frightening everything was that happened and how much it's changed our society. I think when first seeing this, viewers probably look towards the bottom of the page where the head is and the eyes are, and then next they probably see the words which stand out because they're words against the other images. And then I also think towards the bottom near the face stand out because that's what you see first, and the question marks that go up. So at first, I just got a bunch of magazines and things that I thought stood out. At first, I was looking for dark versus light things and then just putting them into piles, just putting the papers into different stacks. And then I began to start clipping out the little images that I liked. And then here is my kind of like my layout of what my first design was and what I wanted it to be. I cut out the eyes to be different sizes to reflect different people, and then I wanted certain words to stand out, like living and I'm not feeling it, and then gone in the corner. So I wanted there to be emphasis on the meaning of each kind of feeling, and what the viewers took away from it was something that they could relate to and see in my artwork. I wanted there to be different elements, so I cut some of the images bigger than others so that the ones that are smaller would stand out and the viewers would have to look more closely to see them. As far as the research on collage artists, we watched videos in class on kind of the different methods of what the collage artist used, and I took away from that how to collect my materials and how like to gather all my things and then go off from there as to formatting and laying it out. So for my collage, I decided to incorporate the 17 eyes to show the 17 victims of the shooting. And I wanted to kind of incorporate the victim, not only the victims, but the victims' relatives and all of those affected by the shooting. And I wanted to do two sides to how they could be feeling after it. One side to the left is happiness and love and like joy and just living their life and keeping on going. And to the right of it is darkness and fear and just not feeling happy again and just living in the moment and just remembering what terrible events happened. I did question marks up the middle to show the doubt and just confusion of the victims and those who experienced this tragedy and how they don't know whether to move on and try to live their life as normal teenagers or to just keep thinking about this and being dragged down by this tragedy that happened at their very own school. When I was creating this, I was kind of thinking of my own life and how knowing about this tragic event and how this isn't school shootings aren't like a rare thing these days because it's very common. I kind of pictured myself as the person in the bottom, kind of thinking, am I going to live in fear? Like every day when I go to school, am I going to live in fear that my school could be the site of a school shooting? Or am I just going to keep living my life and not be dragged down by the evil of the world? My goals in creating this were to bring awareness to the state of mind the people, the victims of this school shooting are, and how this didn't just impact them a little, but impacted their lives and will continue to impact them forever. And no matter what the event is in your life, you can either choose to move on or to live in the past. And I think that I wanted to bring about that decision. And though it's a tough one, you can move on and you can keep living your life and be a better you. And so I think I reached my goals in showing the contrast between dark and good and living in the past and keeping on moving on, and the lightness versus the anger and sadness. So I think I reached my goals and I brought awareness to this, not only the subject of the school shooting, but anything in your life where you're having to choose between being dragged down by something that impacted you or to move on and keep it in mind, but just keep living your life. In creating this, I learned that you can make anything out of nothing, and literally the smallest scrap of magazine can turn into something great. So I think that I learned a lot about formatting and cutting the images into what I wanted them to be, and just arranging it into something that pleased me and made me happy with my work. When people look at my artwork, I want them to kind of feel and know what the victims of the school shooting are going through, and kind of relate this to their own life. It could be in not only in regards to the school shooting, but different decisions in their life. I think it could symbolize a lot of things. So I like it a lot, and I think it is easy to relate to and brings about awareness to this topic. The final piece is what I imagined in the beginning of my project when I was kind of visualizing what I wanted to do. I wanted to show someone who was stuck in the middle of how to feel and how to move on with their life, but still remember what had happened and to learn from that. So I think I did what I wanted to, and I think I accomplished my goals. I think this piece will influence my future work because I discovered that I really enjoy these type of collages, and I love looking through the magazines and looking for inspiration and just putting together something out of a bunch of things. So I think this kind of opened my eyes to doing collages and being creative, and I really liked it, and I had a great time putting it together, and I really loved the final piece.